through Title II, Chapter 11. I have submitted several over the past couple of years, of which few have been directly addressed. I want to thank Commissioner and Chair Smith for his unofficial response to one or more of my requests. But again, I'm just wondering what is, or if the process defined in Title II is being followed by the Neighborhood Commission and its proxy, so that these requests, when made, can be timely addressed. Oftentimes, a request for information can be made in lieu of filing a complaint, as it basically is a means of asking, well, in this particular situation, does it appear that a violation of the plan would have occurred or would have been deemed to have occurred? That might be one way to help circumvent some of the backlog that can arise with the complaint program. But I do hope that that issue, again, regarding, for example, submitted on 26 April of this year was a request to find out if a board chair has the ability to materially change a request for addition of an item to an agenda. A second request submitted earlier for information was if a member may recuse him or herself and yet still vote, which has been known to happen. So again, these are types of things that we look to the commission to provide information, rulings, and to help the boards run more efficiently. Thank you, Chair, for the time.
Okay, well, let me just respond. Yeah, that's a good point. I did ask, if you recall, if you had outstanding requests for information. It's a good point that I did write some information back to you, but it should be done. It should be also be confirmed by the commission. So let me go back and look. But if there's anything outstanding, if you would send that to me, then we can take care of it. So I apologize for not maybe bringing that before the full commission, but yeah, I'll definitely do that. So, like I said, if you want to just send it to me again, and that way I'll sure to at least address everything. I will say on some of these issues, if it is the subject of a complaint, we may hold off and wait until we adjudicate that, until we give a response. So there is that circumstance, perhaps. I mean, you just have to see what the questions are. Okay, Kevin, is that you have a follow up or? Okay, yeah, just
yes. Thank you, Chair. Again, I did want to thank you for your response, and you had branded as unofficial. So I do hope that we can move forward, have the commission go through the process as defined in Title II.
No, that's I mean, I can understand exactly where you're coming from. I'm sorry I didn't follow up on it that way, but I will. So thank you. Okay. So with that said, do we have any other public concerns, or anybody want to speak to public concerns? I don't see anybody.
Ms. Aiken?
Oh, Greg, do you have your hand up, or?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, please.
There it is. Maybe it's hard to see in the
yeah,
trees
it's a little hard
there.
for us to see. So yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me lower it. Yeah, so aloha to everybody this evening, and I appreciate that there's some new members of the commission here, and you're learning as we go. I would like to echo what Member Lai said a moment ago, that there has been some issues. We had a committee meeting, about too. So there seems to be some technical issues or glitches or something that's happening all of a sudden. So there's like a ghost in the machine, and it is difficult sometimes to hear you guys. It doesn't seem like the same that we had before. So there's some different dynamic. So maybe we could just have you guys look at that. With that said, I just have one concern I want to raise. At the last Waikiki Neighborhood Board meeting for this month of September, the chair continues to not follow procedure, and I was very surprised at this, but the one item that time and time again was improperly placed on the agenda. So let me just give you the meeting date. Meeting date would be September 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. This is Waikiki Neighborhood Board number 9. And if you just have a chance, when you have an opportunity to look at this, you'll look at unfinished board business, item 4. And the way the agenda item was listed is it said revisit to State of Hawaii Crime Prevention Program for Waikiki, vote on project. And then there was a link. And in that link was just a very small PowerPoint presentation. I think there were 4 or 5 pages with just some images of drones or something. And I raised concern. I didn't actually raise concern about the way the agenda item was. I didn't want to go there. I mean, I've been doing this over and over, and it's like, speaking in the wind to nothing. But this is where you have the ability to enforce and make sure that it's done properly. But again, this is Department of Law Enforcement for the state, and it doesn't mention that. There was no presentation. And the presentation that was in the Google Drive was very limited, and it didn't even give scope of what this entailed that they were voting for. So even I think a member or two had questions about that. So this isn't the way it should be. It should be something more detailed. And Lambert didn't come back and present again. So the public didn't have an opportunity to really chime in. So I hope you guys can address that and look at this, and please encourage the different boards to make sure that the agenda items are proper so that the public has a proper opportunity to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will say that there was going to be a discussion at the last neighborhood plan committee, and I talked to the chair. And unfortunately, we didn't have a quorum at that meeting so that the members could have a discussion. There were some concerns and some questions from the Waikiki chair about what they've been doing. And so we unfortunately didn't have an opportunity to address that, but that is something that's an ongoing concern of the commission. I will say that. I would ask you though, I did talk to a neighborhood, Waikiki neighborhood board member the other day, yesterday I think it was, and about Mr. Eggert's testimony or his presentation and whether he strayed off of subject. In your opinion, did he just confine himself to the commercial events?
I think he strayed last month. I have to go back and watch again, but I'm pretty sure he strayed last month, and he strayed a couple months ago. He missed one meeting.
Well, I know,
but, yeah,
but I'm talking about this past meeting for this.
Yeah, the past one, I do recall that he strayed, but I have to think back.
Okay.
I have so much going on at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he strayed, and I think he was, I think Member Worth might have asked a few questions too, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll go back and look at the video.
Well, that's
myself.
fine. I mean, I'll do that too. I wasn't able to make the meeting, but that's been a concern too. So anyway, we will follow up on that. Thank you for continuing to highlight that. But that is something we're aware of, and there's some questions from the chair that of Waikiki that we hope to clarify some issues with the planning committee. And so hopefully we'll get a chance, we'll have a full regiment next month. We'll get a chance to review those and pass those on to the chair. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Are there any other public concerns? Oh, well, let me just, okay, so Tom Heinrich. I'm sorry, normally we'd ask you to introduce yourself, but I think we know everybody who spoke and we're having no problem with the records. So, and I just said Tom Heinrich, so.
Thank you, Chair. Tom Heinrich in my individual capacity. And I note on the agenda that the next meeting for the Neighborhood Commission is not till October 27th. So I just wanted to mention real quick, I was at earlier this afternoon, the Honolulu City Charter Commission meeting, and their next meeting is on October 6th, but also now posted on the Charter Commission's website, which is honolulucitycouncil.org/charter-commission, is a schedule of community meetings that will be held island-wide during the month of October. And as we discussed at the last meeting, certainly one of the things for us to pay attention to is, are there any proposals that come in by the November 7th proposal submittal deadline, as may affect the neighborhood board system. But in the interest of anybody who's paying attention to that one, as it may affect other things relating to the board system. A lot of things going on in October prior to the October 27th NC next meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. And I hope I don't forget, but I'll have to put a note to have that on our agenda since it'll be, you did say November though. November 7th is the last time for the public to submit a proposal. Is that correct?
Currently, that's the deadline, correct?
Okay, so yeah, at some point we should, review all the relevant proposals. So, okay, I'll put that on the agenda. Thank you very much, Tom. We appreciate you keeping us up to date. All right, last call. Are there any more public concerns? Hearing none, thank you very much. We can move on to our Executive Secretary's report.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to let the commission know that we posted our request form. It's on our website now. And I just want to caution everybody that it is probably going to be an evolving thing as we progress through a number of requests. We may end up adjusting a little bit, but at least it's on paper, and people, if they have a special event coming up, they would like to participate, they can certainly fill it out. Recently, we've had a number of people expressing interest in a special meeting or a joint meeting. And that is fine. We just would like a lot of lead time if possible. And it's just our ability to schedule or locate a place to have the meeting. And then depending on what day it is and how it's structured, we may have to shuffle around some things. But the more time we have, the better, simply because if we're going to rent a new facility for a special meeting, it may take us a while to complete that contract. But other than that, it is up, so please use it. If and everything from special meetings to parades to community events. If you want to participate as a board and you think you need our help or would like our help with anything, please fill it out, send it in, and we can figure it out from there.
Thank you. This Commissioner Knight just came in for everybody's information.
So sorry.
No worries, no worries. Thank you.
That's it.
I would maybe ask to just revisit our conversation regarding minutes requests to go backwards. Sorry. And that is, there was a request from a board member out in the public to a board member, let's say, and asked for the NCO to process minutes going back to March 2024. And that's something I talked with Lloyd, and I think the NCO's position, I'm sorry, I don't want to, maybe I shouldn't say, but was that that's not as something that they want to start, because if there were a lot of requests, that would be a lot of work. And so what sort of the summary of the thoughts were that any person can go and submit like a copy of the video, which is on YouTube, into AI and do their own analysis. But to ask the NCO to go backwards is probably not the most efficient use of city resources. And we do feel pretty comfortable with where we're at and with the minutes situation. I know maybe not everybody is happy for different reasons, but it seems like we are going in a good direction. So the response was between Lloyd and I that this was just something the NCO did not feel comfortable.
We just lost you.
We lost you.
Okay, we got you back.
Sorry.
There was an intermission there. We lost the
Stall
froze.
or delay. There was a delay.
Oh, okay. Well, we just talked about the minutes, requests for going back in minutes, and we just figured it wasn't a good use of city resources. So, okay. Are there any questions for the executive secretary from the commissioners or the public? Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, Lloyd, I want to thank you and your staff for the new certificates that you developed with the new style to it, and also the NCO new logo for the neighborhood boards. If you guys look at this, I got this in front of the camera. This is a certificate I'm going to give out tomorrow for police officer um, Tiara Perry. She's the one that rescued the lady from the 40th floor of the Pearl City high rises. She was getting ready to commit suicide, and she talked her down. So we're recognizing, but it's a very nice certificate. I think good creativity. That's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Do the commissioners have any other comments or questions from the executive secretary? Okay, hearing none. Kevin, go ahead, please.
Chair, thank you. Just a few quick questions for Secretary Yamanaka. Secretary, I know earlier I'd made a request for an image of the software that's used for the voting. And I recall that the comment was made that because of some other litigation issues that could not be done. I just want to make clear that my request is not related to litigation. And I'm not sure how it could be deemed to be interfering with that. I need that information, a screen cap of how the candidate registration process works, so I can provide a response to the commission for other correspondence. So it is kind of delaying things. I again ask if you can appeal to a third party or a special master who could handle that request so that if necessary, neighborhood commission office can remain independent of it. But again, this is blocking other issues that are in play. Secondly, I'm wondering where are the findings of fact that are still missing from the NCO website after its revamp? As you recall, prior to the revamp, we were able to look up the rulings that were made by the commission to use them as, in essence, case law for how to envision and process proceedings of neighborhood boards. Lastly, and just hearing with the comments that were just recently made, I am a little concerned that the NCO is not keen to process prior video records to generate searchable transcripts or meeting summaries for prior meetings. It seems like this is a perfect way to make use and lever the AI technology that has been brought in for other uses within the office. If it simply requires too much human time to curate the output from the AI program, then maybe we can just refine the process or relax its parameters somewhat. I just think there's a lot of information there that would still be useful. And if there's a way to, as was noted, reduce human compute time, but maximize the computer compute time, it'd be very helpful for those of us who need to search the archives. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions for the executive secretary? Seeing none, we can move on to our committee reports. We have our elections committee. Our elections committee chair is not here, but I don't believe that they've met or done anything, which I don't expect that they will for quite a while, just so you know. Next up, we have our neighborhood plan committee. Larry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that again, my apology that we couldn't complete my first meeting as chair for the neighborhood planning committee because we didn't have a quorum. They were all good, reasonable excuses why people couldn't make it. But the other thing is we did have technical difficulties, and our meeting went into more of an information meeting where we received a couple of just discussion items. I don't know if that'll be in the minutes or not, if that'll be produced. I would think a minimum one would be, but I am asking, Chair, so we don't get in this predicament again. We need a minimum of 2 commissioners to be added to the neighborhood planning committee just to play it safe. And other than that, that's all I got.
Okay.
Oh.
I do.
Oh, yeah, and let's see, where was it? Yeah, that's all I got for right now.
Thank you. I did email you back about the selection of a couple people. So
Okay.
we could also, so if you want to consider that, but I don't know that we officially added Angie Knight to our committee, but we can do that. Okay, well.
Yep.
we're
I mean,
listed.
at this meeting, I would ask you to just appoint those people for the record. So that way, when I do come up with the neighborhood planning committee, they're already on record to attend. And then we either have a quorum or we don't. But I got a chance with you making this positive change. It prevents us from not having a quorum.
Okay, well, I spoke to Harris. I did not ask him, I'm sorry, about whether he wanted to serve on that committee. I know he's got some other duties, so why don't we tentatively, or let's go ahead and we can appoint Harris.
Yeah.
And if he does not want to serve, then we can remove him at a later date. Are there any is there any opposition or any objections from the commission to appoint Harris Nakamoto to the planning committee? And then we will confirm Angie and Angie Knight also. Is there any
Okay.
opposition?
So
Or
we
any
still have
objection?
one gap. Who's the other one?
Well,
Because we
don't-
lost three. We need to replace it.
consider, why don't we talk about considering a third party at a different.
Okay.
date?
Well, I'll go
Yeah.
with what you got, and I'll make phone calls to
okay.
make sure they're coming.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments or concerns from anybody regarding the two committees? So Greg, I see, it looks like you have a, oh,
One
Tom,
question,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, before we get to anybody online. Tom, go ahead.
sorry. I'll get that later. I recall, and I didn't bring it up last meeting, I didn't see it till after. Wasn't Cross Crab also added to this committee 2 meetings ago? And he
Yes.
was left off of this, so is he no longer a member of the Neighborhood Plan Committee?
He was, in fact, and I don't know that he got contact. I think that was a mistake. So I did provide Larry all the contact information. So I don't know if Cross was actually contacted, but yes, I did talk to him about being appointed to the committee. He agreed to serve. He may have not gotten the notice, and that, that's just the switchover committees, and I apologize for that. We're going forward, he'll make sure. So, and every other time, if Cross had a problem, he would let me know why he couldn't come. So I'm sure he will.
Thank
But
you.
yes, he was appointed. Thank you. Any other, or I think, Greg, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. I'll be quick because I know Kevin had his hand first, but I'll be very brief. I just wanted to make a comment on the elections committee. I think I heard you correct to say that they haven't met yet. Is that what you had stated?
Yes.
Okay. I hope that they meet soon, and I hope that they're provided a lot of the testimony or all of the testimony regarding concerns with the elections, because I think it's important that the elections committee meet and address what recently happened. You can't just brush it under or sweep it away and forget it never happened. In fact, if you go back to 2023, and I was going through some of my emails, you'll notice that, you'll find, I should say, if you dig, that there were emails that I sent to Executive Secretary Yananaka regarding concerns then with the way the names were put on the ballots. So I think it behooves the NCO to meet as an elections committee, the committee itself, and then bring back some of their discussions. I know some of that might have to go into executive session. I realize there's litigation, but that's not something you can sweep away. So we should wear our problems and our issues and solutions out in public eventually. I mean, there needs to be some further discussion and dialogue about that, and not just try to sweep it away. And that was a little longer than I wanted, but I'll stop there and I'll let Kevin go next. Thank you.
Thank you. I would say that, so when we talk about forming the election committee, was to look back at some of the mistakes, identify those, have the committee look at the neighborhood plan and identify and fulfill our role as the commission, because it's mainly an NCO function, but the commission does have important participatory responsibilities and duties. And then the third part of that is to fulfill those. So we were going to wait, just so you know, a little while, probably into next year shortly, and then start up the committee, do that review, or do all of those review, or all of those functions going forward. So we are committed to doing that, and I appreciate your concern. Thank you. Next up, we have Kevin.
Chair, thank you. My question is similar to that of Mr. Masakian, and it's this. Was it determined if during the prior cycle, the elections committee did actually meet? And if so, why were there no written records of these meetings, which I think is a requirement? Again, moving forward, I fully anticipate that things will be done on the up and up, but it's still concerning that if that's what happened, and there's record of the meetings of which there were reports made during meeting of the commission itself, that's of concern. I just don't know if you as chair have had time to investigate that so that the public can know if those meetings actually happened. Thank you.
I think it's pretty clear that those meetings did not happen. There would have to be records of those. So I would assume, and I have no reason to doubt otherwise, that they did not in fact happen. What I gathered, what I, let's say, assumed happened is that the chair maybe talked with the elections official. I just don't know. But, you know, and there's that's not something we can control. All we can do is go forward, and that's what we intend to do. Thank you. I know that may be unsatisfactory, but we do, it is a commitment on behalf of the members of the commission to try to look back at the issues that did happen and, you know, work so that they're not an issue in the future. You know, we're all human. The NCO, I know, works hard. They want to do a good job, and there were just mistakes made. And all you can do is say, what were the mistakes and how can we fix them going forward? And that's what we're going to try to do. Thank you. Are there any other last minute questions or concerns about the committees? Hearing none, seeing none, I should say. We can move on to new business then. So first off, we have a request from the Diamond Head, Kapalua, St. Louis Heights Neighborhood Board number 5 to change sub-district 2 seats to at large. I will tell you, there were part of that request was they wanted us to stipulate that if two potential candidates came forward, one was from the sub-district, that they would be obligated to meet, or obligated to fill that seat with that individual. My response to them was, I thought it unlikely the commission would probably want to have that limitation. And that was me. So I want to hear from the rest of the commissioners, but they did have that request tagged to it. I thought it'd just be better for the commission to say, okay, you can do it. That, you know, you can have these change into at large, and then you yourself as the board can make those sort of determinations yourself. If that's what you want to do, then that's how you should vote as a board. So that's just my thought, but I did want to make clear that was the request. Yeah, Larry, go ahead, please.
I agree with the chair, and I think the timing of it should be done at the end of the board term, because it's not fair to the individual that stood up to the plate to fill the at-large position and then ask that person to leave because somebody else was eligible from the sub-district.
Yeah, well, this is, I think what they were talking about is if they had two people at the same time. So this wouldn't push anybody out or anything like that, to the best of my knowledge. Okay. Angie, did you want to, Angie's part of that board, did you want to say anything? Or, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was looking at Lori because I was like, what do I say? Because that's my
You
district.
don't have to, but
No, but that was what they were requesting. And so in part of our dialogue, we did say that it would be up to the commission, but the commission probably would leave it up to the board
okay,
to make the judgment call.
thank you.
Yeah.
So is everybody content with just merely, for the commission part of it is to adjust their seats in sub-district 2 from sub-district to at-large, and that's 2 seats
For the current.
Yes,
for the, I'm sorry, for the current term. So do I have a motion in that regard? Mahia, did you want to?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any objections to adopting the motion? Hearing none, it will be adopted by acclamation. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
Just clarification,
Yeah.
so the change is for this term
this term only.
only. Okay.
Is that, it was for this term only, just to be clear. So there are 2 seats in sub-district 2, they would go to at-large.
If one was already converted to at-large like 2 meetings ago.
Oh, so
August
this would be
meeting.
the remaining?
Yes, yeah, so we had one convert in the August meeting, these are
Okay.
the remaining 2, because Copperwood continues to be.
Okay, no, wait, now I'm confusing. So there, how many seats in sub-district 3 do you have altogether? Just 2?
Subdivision,
2,
Isn't it
all
five?
right.
I don't.
Okay, well, I guess.
I wanna say.
So how many are we converting now?
Yeah.
1 or 2?
In this meeting today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2,
2.
Oh, okay,
Two.
okay, that's what I saw.
So,
one already,
Okay, that's what I had said.
2.
right, I think,
Confused us a little.
sorry.
I think what you meant was that the board, your board authorized it 1 last time,
Yes.
Yes,
but
Okay.
the commission did.
okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, so we're going to do 2 now.
Gonna go with yes.
So now there will be 3 at large.
Yes,
seats.
yes, that is
Although-
correct.
I don't know if they fill them, but there will be 3 that are at large.
Yes.
Whatever, however, if it's filled. Okay, so that was the motion, man, right? That-
Yeah, they needed 2 more.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So, with that said, next up we have our discussion and action on the proposed modifications to the complaint provision. I know Angie hasn't talked a lot about, hasn't been here for all the meetings, but I think we've talked about it quite a lot. So what I would ask is if anybody wants any further discussion, because at the end, I would ask the commission to move to submit the whole proposal, the whole Chapter 18 proposal to corporate counsel for their legal review. So does anyone want to make any questions, offer any concerns? This would be the time to do it. Sorry, Lloyd. Oh, any commissioners real quick? Here, Tom, please come on.
Thank you, Chair. Tom Heiner. A couple of comments on this. First, on a technical side, if you will, I think what would be useful, especially even with my own confusion, is what is the draft that we're working off of now? And can that draft be posted right up front on the NCO website for everybody to refer to? For instance, the side-by-side document that we did recently or whatever is the column on the right. In fact, the latest, the most current draft that we are looking at. So we need clarification there. And the ability for everybody to look at it quickly, access it quickly. Second point, as a technician for too many things, I would also recommend that if we are going to put something out there for further review, even to corp counsel, that in fact we use something different, such as either just capital letter D in front of the same section number, because the 3 dash we have spoken about in committee, but when you actually look at the document, 3 comes from question mark.
Okay, well, let me interrupt you if I could.
Go ahead.
And that is, we did not change any numbering, since this will be a replacement of just for Chapter 18. We kept the numbering scheme that the present chapters have.
Okay, I will take another look at that. But for clarification, at the very least, I would recommend that for the draft, we put like capital D in front of that same number, to be very clear, of whatever it is that we're looking at. We have both a date of that draft, but as well in that number, because there's so many different documents that are flying around now, even among discussion with the NCO staff. Okay. So it's
Okay.
just a suggestion on that.
Okay, I may have to get with you to make sure I comply exactly with what
Sure.
you're suggesting, because I'm a little unclear exactly how to do that. But the last draft, I think, is in the meeting folder for the previous online or folder. So it's there. I can't remember how it's named, but it should be very clear because it's the only document, the last document. So, okay. But
Okay.
but I think that's a great suggestion about putting it prominently.
Put it up
Yeah.
front. Yes.
And so I guess Lloyd and I can talk about, if that's okay with you, that we can put maybe the proposal, the document that you were kind enough to supply to us with, the table feature, and then maybe whatever else, like the original, that type of thing. So, okay, that's a great suggestion. I'm sorry,
Okay.
what's that?
On that as well, again, noting that we have not touched anything to lay it out in Ramsire format yet. That will come later when it's appropriate. Let's see, switching focus then.
Well, can I ask you,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just so we keep it pertinent. Do you think corporate counsel would require or say would like it in Ramsmeyer format? Is that part, or I would think they could do the evaluation without that, right?
I would offer it at the appropriate time. I would offer the draft as is, if you will, not Ramsire, to corporate counsel in order to get some feedback.
Okay.
If they need it Ramsire, well, I can
They
take
will
it.
tell us.
I can take a hit at that fairly soon because it just takes some time. It's easy enough to do. But I would not want to delay things in that regard, waiting for Ramsey. Okay, different comment. In my opinion, I'm not sure, and based on all of my experience, I'm not sure that the present draft really accomplishes some of the major goals that we set out to do. If we were trying to really truncate the timing, that kind of stuff or whatever, because we had part of this discussion at the last meeting, here is a suggestion that I have, which is not so much for work by the committee on the complaint process, chapter 18 at the moment, but rather this. So 2 comments. The first is we should all take a look again at what the present draft of that chapter 18 is and just get a feel. Because again, we've had a little bit of delay. We have some new commissioners, all that stuff. Okay, we're downshifting. We're really getting back into it. So we need to take a good look at it for that. But my additional suggestion, since that one is not requiring any work, just on getting back up to speed, but my additional suggestion is, and I was speaking to Executive Secretary prior to the meeting on this, is I would really like to hear and actually see a brief draft of what the NCO thinks, in fact, might be a brief process that hopefully is more fast track, whatever. One of the ideas that we kicked around that I think we've kind of lost is to try to put, if a complaint is involving a particular board or members of that board or the chair or whatever, that in fact we get feedback from that board first. I think we've lost that at the moment. And so what I would strongly recommend is that we put, I'll pick on Lloyd, that we put Lloyd and the NCO on the burner, if you will, that by or before October 27th, that we have some sort of quick layout, because the format is pretty much there as to what we want to do, I think. But one of the most frustrating things I think that we spent a fair amount of time at the last meeting on when we were talking about it was just, man, this is still taking forever. And knowing that the end of this is you don't like it, you can still appeal and go through the full contested case process, which is what we're trying to avoid, I think. So we're trying to have that practicality of a more responsive upfront process, knowing that you still got this much more involved process on the back end, if in fact we can't come to some resolution more on the front end. But I would offer that in the sense that as I was looking at things over the last couple of weeks and everything, it's just, even from 1997, when we started everything based on problems with the complaint process, that fundamentally, we haven't really speeded it up much yet. And I would like to challenge NCO to give us kind of like, what would you offer? Period. And just from you guys, so we can compare some things or whatever, and then see if there's any other things that we might want to do to the draft Chapter 18 before offering it to Corp Council. But I'd like to keep it on a fast track in terms of if we can get something from NCO by the next meeting to kind of see where that might be.
Well, I will tell you that we did ask NCO to prepare and submit a proposal, which in fact they did. Dylan Weissel did it. And I'll be quite honest, the planning committee, I'm a little harsh to say they didn't like it, but you know, it's not so much we didn't like it. It's just we felt there were better alternatives, and I you know, as I recall, and this is my recollection, so I don't want to say this was his plan, but a big part of that was throwing it back, you know, a lot of complaints back to the boards and having the boards settle it without going to the commission. And so we used fundamental aspects of that, and we did, and a large part of the actual plan of Chapter 18 of the proposal is the ability to go to a third party over, you know, third party neutral kind of moderator or facilitator, I think is the word we used. And that could be the chair of the particular committee. It could be someone from the NCO. It could be a commissioner or anybody else to help mediate, so to speak. And that's mediate, you know, with a small m, not legal mediation. And if that doesn't work, there's a process to go back into the plan. So I'm not really, I hear what you're saying about trying to streamline it, but I think that we've done it the best we can. I don't know that there's a better way to do it.
Well, here's, I appreciate that. I think the main context that I'm looking at it at the moment is this. I think there have been a number, or at least involving me, members of the commission as well as NCO staff. I think there's been significant advance in thinking just in these last couple of months with some changes of circumstances generally, whatever. And in that regard, it'd be interesting to see what differences there may be from what was originally offered. Because I agree with you, there are some things that I remember that didn't sit well with me originally. But in that sense, before we throw something at Corp Council, I would suggest give it one more chance for 4 weeks and then chew on it and go from there. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong here, what you're looking at the moment is approaching Corp Council for input. We're not initiating any formal public hearing process or all the rest of that. This is still that information gathering internally from Corp Council. So, but in that respect, I would encourage it being kicked around briefly one more time before throwing it to Corp Council.
Okay, I hate to say my response would be, we have delayed this quite a bit because we were very close to that before we had new commissioners. And I understand it wouldn't really be fair to kind of throw everything on them. And I know you haven't gotten the full review. You're the only one here, so I'm looking at you.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm right here with potatoes.
So,
There's a lot of them.
but given, I mean, the great respect I have for you, and if that's something you feel passionate about, that you want to review this for another month. and-
Well, it's especially seeing what additional input based on some of these outside of meeting conversations. What in fact that, for lack of a better word, abbreviated process may be before you get to that appeal of the whole ball of wax for contested case.
Okay, I'm not really sure what else we can do, because we've had a number of meetings where we sort of methodically went through every aspect of this. And so, okay, well, why don't we hear from a couple of people? I see some hands up, and we can go from there. Larry, go
Thank
ahead.
you, Chair.
Yeah, oh, well, you sit there.
Okay.
And if we have any more follow-up, thank you. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, Tom, really good input and everything. Yeah, Chair Smith, I think it'd be a good idea to hold one more month. And I like the idea of having that comparison on one page as you go down. You got the left and you got the right, the before and the after as you go down. The one thing that's probably helped us through this process is because we've had a couple individuals that have attended most of our meetings in that area, and Kevin and Greg provided a lot of their personal inputs. So I feel comfortable that, with the two of them, because they're talented the way they see it. But I'd feel more comfortable if I just shared this as the chair of the planning committee with all the neighborhood board chairs and say, hey, take a quick look at this thing. We're getting ready to send this to corporate council. Does it make sense to you? What do you think? And you see if there's any feedback from anybody else before that goes forward. Or I think if you do it after corporate council, I think it's too late if there was something we might have missed. Just my thought. I think another month on that wouldn't hurt. And plus you get, again, your new members, they get a chance to read it and make them accountable.
Okay, well, what if we send it back to your committee? And then, so this month, this coming month, you can do that deep dive and determine, make a recommendation to the rest of the commission of how to proceed. Would that be okay, Larry?
Okay. Yeah, that's only a few weeks away. That's not a month, but I can do my best to try to have something ready. But we need to have it posted with that comparison.
Well, I mean, I would suggest if the committee does feel like the timing is right, if that's not enough time, then that would be a recommendation to the commission to, let's give it another month or something like that, that sort of thing. I mean, you tell us what you think the timetable and what the action should be, and then we can take that.
Okay, that'll be the primary objective next neighborhood plan committee meeting before I get into chapter 3.
Thank you. So with that said, let me go to the other commissioners. Is there another commissioner that has something they want to add? If so, just speak up, because I can't really see. And hearing none, we have Greg and Kevin. I'm not sure who was first. So I guess I'll go Kevin this time. So go ahead, Kevin.
Chair, thank you. I appreciate the comments, Mr. Heinrich and Commissioner Verray, but the audio here in Madagascar has been intermittently garbled, so I hope that my audio is coming back to you. Commissioners, my comments are this. Before acting on this matter, please know that I'm concerned that there does not appear to have been a sensitivity analysis regarding the impact of changing just the complaint resolution process before knowing what the remaining changes to the plan might be down the road or within the remainder of Title II, Chapter 11. There's been talk of, and in fact precedent of already, regarding carve-outs for the commission regarding discussion of or adjudication of HRS 92 matters. And I'm wondering if the commission will still be able to make rulings about such matters or speak to OIP only when necessary, if there's a quandary that cannot be resolved within the commission itself. I'm wondering what the impact of the change to the complaint process will be to the official complaint form. I've not seen discussion about this, especially if there will be new carve-outs. The second point is this: the 10-day filing deadline for complaints seems to be a frank disenfranchisement of those residents who may rely on Olelo or the draft written summary delivered by USPS to review actions of a commission or of a particular board. Despite its apparent permeation, YouTube or even use of Olelo on demand may not be employed by a plurality, if not a majority, of NCO adjacent participants. Specifically, I'm wondering why this question itself was not developed into a statistically significant query of value amongst any of the competing surveys of the past several months. Then at least we would know or have a better idea of how and by what means NCO adjacent residents acquire information about meetings, and then maybe use that information to file or register complaints about their observations. I just think this is a process that needs to be analyzed. And again, lastly, the commission or the committee, if it's going back to Commissioner Verrey's committee, should do some real world modeling just to make sure that the proposed timings are going to be effective, not constrained and not too lax as it seems as the intent. Appreciate the chance to comment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm not really sure what an NCO adjacent participant is. What do you mean by that?
Chair, could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, what is an NCO adjacent participant?
Thank you, Chair. That was just a way to describe people who are involved in or could be involved in the complaint process, which could be members of the commission, members of boards, and members of the public.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I would, and Kevin, I'm not saying this, it would be sarcastic maybe to a lot of people, but hopefully not to you. I would ask that maybe if you would write these up, and I know usually you don't have a problem, so I would kindly or respectfully ask, maybe if you write them up, submit them to Chair Verrey, so just that we can kind of more accurately, think about what you're asking and sort of have a better, well-planned response for you, if you would. So I would just ask that maybe if you could email him and copy me, I'd appreciate it. That way we can address your concerns. Thank you. Next up, Greg Marsakian, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I also appreciate what Tom Heinrich said, and also Mr. Verrey's, Larry Verrey, regarding delaying. I think the 2 months might be where you fall on this, because one of the things I'll just point out, even for today, well, there's two things. One, for today, you go to the meeting minutes and you go to the Google Shared Drive, there's nothing there that's a draft to even really understand all the changes for the discussion. But I realize you're pushing this out, so that's acceptable, except that, if we wanted to look at something, if you were going to vote today to go to Corp Council, I'm not sure you could, because you don't have the document on the shared Google Drive, which would be your draft. Previous planning committee meeting, unfortunately, which I participated in, didn't have a quorum, so that meeting wasn't able to continue. We had just a brief discussion in the beginning for some input, and then it had to end at that point. I'm not sure if they did anything after they said goodbye, but they ended the meeting. So I think it needs some more time. Oh, go ahead if you want to say something. You want to have an input on that, Chair?
Well, I was just letting you know that, no, it was an informational meeting. We didn't have quorum, so we couldn't do anything else.
So all I'm saying is, ultimately, you don't have the draft in the format that you want, even for this meeting. And I think to give Larry the chance to have an opportunity to, have some time to put things together, I don't think I can foresee that it's going to be even at the next commission meeting where you have the final version. I think you're going to need to have a committee draft, and then you guys discuss where the public has input, and then maybe it goes for the final decision at the next meeting. I think because you guys always want to have that opportunity, but you might get away with it. You might be able to do it. But I just also share this very last concern, the 10 days. Ultimately, giving 10 days, and I said that before, every time you brought up the 10-day time limit, I don't see that being a viable option. So I'll stop right there. Thank you so much for that moment.
Thank you. I will let you know that it is online. It may not be in this month's folder, but it is there. It's in the last month's folder. So it is online.
Yeah, it's
It
just
is
when
a
you
final.
click on the link, you know, you don't get to it. And that's all
Yeah,
part of the
you have to
sunshine law.
navigate. Okay, well, I take that as a point. Seeing as how we're not going to vote on it anyway, most likely, there won't be an issue, but okay, point taken. We'll do that next time. But it is there. Anyway, are there any other, Jacob, Wine,
Let me check.
Mindset.
sorry about that. Go ahead, Jacob.
Aloha, Commissioner. Sorry, I had trouble unmuting, and unfortunately, my camera is not cooperating with me today. Just regarding this issue about the revised complaint process here, this has been something that's been going on for the better part of 2025, and I'm hoping that we can eventually come to the end of this process because it is, I think, it's become a beast in itself when it doesn't need to be. It's crowding out attention that could be given to other parts of the neighborhood plan that need revision and other issues that the commission can turn its attention to. And I am a little afraid that we're sort of over bureaucratizing this process and over nuking it, if you will. I think we need to let common sense prevail. I would hope that we can hopefully put an end to this complaints revision process here very soon. I understand, it needs to be updated and whatnot, but I would just like to convey my concern that we're at the end of the day, we're spending an inordinate amount of time on this issue when I think it's been given more than its due diligence. There's been extensive, meetings, hearings, testimony submitted every which way, and I believe it's time to, move on from this. Just put it to bed. Let's just get done with it, so that way we can move on to other issues facing the commission and the neighborhood board system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree, but we need to get it right too. It's a balance. So with that said, is it the pleasure of the commission to send this back to the neighborhood plan committee and just wait for their recommendation on how to proceed? Is everybody okay with that? Does someone want to take a different path? Hearing no objections, so that's what we'll do. We're sending it back for you, Larry, and just to take a look and see what else we might want to do. Maybe take one final look. And Tom, hopefully we'll do a review also and add any comments he might have, and we'll go from there and just wait for your recommendation next month. And be it, if it takes another month, then so be it. But we're waiting for your recommendation. Thank you. Any last comments on this? Okay.
No.
Thank you very much, everybody. That does conclude our business. Is there any other business? Okay, so we can move on to announcements. Our next regularly scheduled meeting of the commission will be October 27th, 2025 at the Kapalama Alley, as always, at 6 p.m. We do have a neighborhood plan committee meeting, which is Larry.
Yes, the neighborhood plan committee. Let me check my calendar here real quick. It's going to be the third Wednesday, third Monday, and
So
it'll
that's
be
the 20th.
1, 2, 3. It'll be 20 October at 6:00.
Thank you. Same location. With that said, are there any other announcements? Just so the commissioners know, we do not have any adjudicatory matters this evening. We have no reason for executive session, so this will conclude our meeting. Thank you much. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll call the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. Glad you're feeling better. At least you
Yeah.
feel better.